Welcome everyone. The North Hunterdon-Voorhees Regional High School District Board of Ed meeting is now called to order on Tuesday, September 20th, 2022. In accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10-4-6, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by submission of notice of the time, date, location, or instructions for remote access to the Hunterdon Democrat on December 9th, 2021, the Star Ledger on December 7th, 2021, and subsequently re-advertised on May 19th, 2022, and on September 8th, 2022. Notice, and to the extent known, the agenda of this meeting has been posted at the North Hunterdon High School and Voorhees High School, provided to the municipal clerks of Bethlehem Township, California Borough, Town of Clinton, Clinton Township, Franklin Township, Glen Gardner Borough, Hampton Borough, Highbridge Borough, Lebanon Township, Tewksbury Township, and Union Township, as well as all other interested parties, and posted on the district website. Fire exits are located in the direction indicated. If alerted to fire, please move in a calm and orderly fashion to the nearest smoke-free exit. At this time, I ask that we silence all our cell phones. And Katie, if you could please give us a roll call.
Ms. Bonomi?
Present.
Mr. Chapman?
Present.
Ms. Crisologo? Present. Mr. Cardenas?
Here.
Ms. Hims?
Here.
Ms. Hoffman is absent. Mr. Kernberger?
Here.
Mr. Mulek? Absent. Ms. Salino?
Here.
Mr. Spanton?
Here.
Mr. Straight?
Here.
And Ms. Beato?
Here. Now I'll rise for the flag salute.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I call for a motion and a second to approve agenda item 4.1, which are the minutes from our August 23rd, 2022 regular school board meeting?
Second.
Shelley, Tara. Anyone have any questions about the meeting or any or the minutes? Okay. All in favor?
I'm abstaining.
Okay.
Wasn't here.
So, all in favor?
Aye.
Abstentions?
Aye.
Kim and Roger? And nays? Okay. At this time, I'd like to have our chief administrator report out.
At the August board meeting, at the August Board of Education meeting, I asked that the vote approving Panorama for climate survey services be tabled so that the concerns raised could be investigated. As you will see on tonight's agenda, I am recommending the rejection of all climate survey proposals, as we will continue with the Rutgers School Climate Improvement Survey, which the district has been using for several years now. I would like to remind voters that the Board of Education approved a bond referendum question to be on the November 8th election ballot. Please visit our website to learn more about the referendum before voting. Homecoming events are coming up at both high schools. The homecoming football game at North Hunterdon will be on September 30th with the dance on October 1st. Voorhees homecoming football game will be on October 7th with their dance on October 8th. The district's college fair will be held tomorrow, September 21st at 6 p.m. in North Hunterdon High School's main gym. There will be representatives from 127 colleges and universities at the fair. I'd like to extend congratulations to the 4 seniors from North Hunterdon High School who are semi-finalists in the 2023 National Merit Scholarship Program. They're Shane Cooley, Janie McSweeney, Kylie McSweeney, and Kushba Patel. Scholarship winners will be announced in April. And I would like to extend congratulations to Voorhees senior James Clausen, who not only scored a top score of 5 on the AP exam for Computer Science A, in May 2022, but he is also one of only 369 students from around the world to earn every point possible on the college level exam.
Wow.
Wow.
And I understand that in that class, Ms. Blaustein at Voorhees is the teacher. 5 students got 5s on their AP exams.
Wow.
So, well done to all of them.
At this time,
I'm still-
sorry. Overly excited here. I got excited about those test scores. I just wanted to introduce more students.
The HIV report for tonight, we had one investigation and it was founded, and then I want to remind everybody from August, we had one investigation that was unfounded. And if somebody would make the motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
And the school bus emergency evacuation drills were conducted at both high schools on September 2nd, and the monthly reports are attached for your information.
Can I have that?
That's it.
Okay. Tonight I have the pleasure of introducing our new student board representatives. We have with us tonight the North Hunterdon representatives. So I'm going to just start with a brief introduction of the two Voorhees representatives who are unable to be with us tonight. They are at a field hockey game with Ron Peterson. It's a charity or mental health awareness game. So their names will be Kate Christ. She's a senior at Voorhees. She is involved in student council, unified leadership, field hockey, and a variety of other activities that they host at Voorhees. And she is looking forward to attending the meetings in the future and being able to work with everyone in the hopes of creating a better environment for our district. And the alternative student rep for Voorhees is Lauren Allagood. And she is originally from Tewksbury and has been a proud Viking since 2019. She serves as president of the class of 2023 and the secretary of the Key Club. She also is a member of the Voorhees field hockey team. And outside of school, she's heavily involved in extracurriculars. But she wanted me to highlight that she spends most of her year working on Model UN and youth government, where she is a member of the Youth Governor's Cabinet for 2022 and 2023. And she also looks forward to serving as our alternative rep and strengthening student presence and input in any way she can. In person tonight, we have Danica Chakraborty. I said, okay. And our alternate rep is Sienna Brett, and I will allow you guys to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Is it okay if I stand?
Yeah, absolutely you can.
Hi everyone. As you heard, my name is Danica Chakraborty. It's an honor to be here to represent North alongside Sienna. So just a little bit about myself and why I'm interested in this position. I am passionate about advocacy and civic engagement. I am a sincere believer of the fact that only one's own effort and actions can result in the change one desires. Be the change you want to see in the world, as the famous quote states. From the age of 13, I have been attempting to do just that, create change. I determinedly joined Model UN and Youth in Government, two programs dedicated to youth civic engagement. Over the years, I've pursued positions of leadership in both programs, sophomore year becoming a chair for Model UN, Chief Justice for YAG, and junior year becoming Secretary General for Model UN, and winning my re-election as Chief Justice for Youth and Government. My experience in these positions have allowed me to develop my skills in leadership and diplomacy, both of which allow me to act on my words and passion as an active advocate. As such, I'm always looking for more opportunities to create more of an impact, and this position is a perfect opportunity to do just that. I also think that this position is one in which I can learn a lot, which will allow me to continue to develop my skills in many different aspects, and as a passionate student, I'm very excited for this. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Sienna Britt. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. I'm grateful to be able to be involved as a student representative because of my passion for public speaking. I'm fit to provide you with suggestions, concerns, and changes from the students at North Hunterdon, and I love to socialize with people and have a diverse group of friends. With that being said, each student has a different perspective of their time here at North, and I cannot wait to present you with each perspective I discover. I'm glad that I'm the voice for the students that do not have an opportunity to share their thoughts, and my experience as a senior will help the board with decisions that will further improve the future of North Hunterdon High School. Thank you.
Just a quick reminder that our next scheduled board meeting will be on October 18th at 7 o'clock here in the district office. And that the following week will be NJSBA's workshop, which will be in Atlantic City this year from October 24th to the 26th, for those who are attending. And now, we're going to go into our committee reports. Tara, are you able to start with community relations?
Sure.
Great, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Community Relations Committee and Student Activities. We met virtually on September 15th at 6 o'clock. All of our committee members were present, along with our administrators, Mr. Bender, Ms. Burgack, and Ms. Magala. Our main agenda item is the referendum campaign, which we're in full swing on, and so I thank everybody, and Marion thanked everybody who was able to go to back-to-school nights to talk to parents. And then Marion created a spreadsheet that has all of the local towns and townships committee meetings, both September, October, and also the school board meetings, the K through 8s for September, October. And I saw a bunch of people have signed up to go and speak and let the public know about the referendum and why we're going this route to accomplish the goals that we need for some of our long-term projects. And again, the biggest thing to highlight is that it's not going to impact our taxes. This is the one way we can get money back from Trenton by going the referendum route. The state will give us 40% of our project. So we have the monies. We just, want to be able to utilize the state's funding to help us offset, and that way those 40% of those monies can be used for projects down the road. And that was pretty much what we had discussed. Mr. Chapman was talking about, he asked about the Polytech building, and Mr. Bender said the plans have been done. They're still discussing the capacity with the Clinton Township Sewer Authority. And then once that's confirmed, they can go on out to bid. So they're moving forward on the Polytech, and we're hopeful that soon there'll be, progress there. And that was it. It was short and sweet.
Perfect. Deb, you good with curriculum?
Yes, thank you. So the curriculum committee met on September 14th virtually. Everyone was in attendance. We discussed 4 items, the first being the board agenda items 10.1 through 10.4. The highlights for that is the tuition contract with with Hunterdon County Vocational School District. It's revised from what was previously approved. The only revision was that the number of students needed to just be updated. And just on a keynote, housing these academies we discussed in our district has allowed us to continue offering the same number of classes while offsetting some of the costs. So we discussed just how important this partnership is. The other item on the board agenda items, we reviewed the home instruction approvals, the addition to the professional consultant list, the emergency virtual instruction program item on the agenda. This, once it is approved this evening, the administration will submit this to the county office for approval. And this is really just in a nutshell, trying to get approval for if the school needs to close for any state of emergency, health emergency, anything around an emergency, that after a certain period, we'd be able to start virtually instruction, and it could count towards the 180-day requirement. And this committee supports items 10.1 through 10.4. The second item we discussed was the mentoring plan in the district. Overall, this district mentoring plan has helped new teachers to be very successful within the district, help welcoming them as well as putting them on a guided training path with a mentor that has a monthly checklist that they both go over. This will be continued. Bless you. The district will be continuing to support new teachers throughout the year with workshop sessions designed for new teachers in addition to this mentoring plan. The third item discussed was the proposed addition to the English 4 curriculum. It is a collection of essays that will be added to this curriculum. They are a modern collection of 44 essays. The collection will provide students with more models for the personal essays that they actually have to write within their course. And then the last item discussed was the NJSLA, ELA, and math results. These official results will be discussed next month to the public in a much more thorough presentation. What we just discussed on a high level was the 4 tests, which was Algebra 1, ELL 9, Geometry, and Algebra 2. Who took them, whether they were in middle school or 8th grade, overarching results. We were able to look at non-academy and academy totals, which does not happen when it's publicly, or is that the right word, publicly presented. We have to pull those academy students out because they're technically polytech students. And like I said, next month there will be a much more in-depth analysis of the results, and action plans where needed will be discussed next month. Great. Are there any questions? Okay, thank you.
Facility and Finance, John's not here this evening, so Jeff or Katie is going to report out.
So we had a facility and finance meeting last Monday. All of the board members were present and in attendance. There were only 2 agenda items. It was a fairly quick meeting. First item was the North Hunterdon parking. Due to the Polytech building being proposed in the site that it is, it's where student parking is currently. So we've been working with the architects to develop a plan to see how we can recover some of that parking that will be lost in the addition of that building. There's approximately 80 spots that will be disrupted during that site improvement. So currently we're looking at several areas of our current lots to gain parking just by restriping. So just, minimal cost and the ability to gain parking easily. And there are some areas where we may need some site improvements to regain a bit of parking. So at the next meeting in October, we will have some more detail of the cost of those items, if they should cost us anything. So we'll report back out in October as to what we're proposing to recover some of that parking. The rest of the meeting was agenda items and agenda review. The main items to note were the business office agreement with the Hunterdon County ESC. That is for the leave coverage in the school business administrator position. So that provides the coverage that we need during that. All of the respondents to the climate survey RFP will be notified that they are no longer in need of these services. So as Jeff already mentioned, we've kind of hit on that already, is that we're rejecting the proposals that were submitted for that climate survey. The annual appointments list is just being updated due to a name change in the treasurer of school monies position. And there's one annuity service provider that is experiencing a name change due to a merger. So we have that on the agenda as well. So fairly quick meeting, not too many agenda items. Does anybody have any questions?
The 80 spots you said disrupted, that could mean while the construction's happening, or they're gone?
That will be eliminated with the site improvements that they're making.
Okay,
So that's why we're making permanent decisions on how to recover that parking.
okay. At some point, there was a discussion of like renting or leasing or something, some spots over at the shopping thing that's over.
That was an option that we were exploring, and due to the cost factor, we have a different proposal that will be a little bit more cost effective.
Okay.
But we will go over that as well, just to let everyone know where that landed.
Okay.
Roll call.
Any other questions for Katie? All right. Shelley, personnel.
Yes, so the Personnel Committee met on August 14th at 6:30 p.m. virtually. All committee members were in attendance, as well as Mr. Burgess and Mrs. Viato. We discussed the personnel agenda and reviewed it, and that's pretty much all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Shelley. Rob, policy.
Hi. The Policy and School Security Committee met on September 12th at 5:30 p.m. In attendance was Dan Spanton, Ryan Hoffman, Glenn Farbanish, and Jessica Beato, and Rich and Jeff. We covered the, and also I want to make a special mention of Brian Chapman, who is doing a great job of being the non-committee member proofreader extraordinaire. You're doing a fantastic job, by the way. I'm going to recruit you for this committee next year. Brian, so we reviewed a couple of thoughts Brian had about the policies that were presented last month for first reading. He just called out a couple of editorial comments, so we did actually remove a superfluous "that" in paragraph 4 of policy 0163, so.
In my defense, it changed the meaning of the sentence.
Got it, fair enough. I'm not, you don't need to defend yourself. So policy 0163 is amended in paragraph 4 by the removal of the word "that." So we're just leaving that for second reading. So we're not pulling that back to first reading. So with that one change. The other two changes that were called out for consideration in policy 1511 and 3270, it was determined that those words were intended to be there, and we're going to follow Strauss Esme's grammatical stylings. So I'll leave them in. So there are 8 policies on the agenda for approval tonight, second reading. There are then 2 policies that we discussed that are first readings. The first one is policy 2425, which is emergency virtual or remote instruction program. As Deb mentioned, our remote instruction plan is also on the agenda tonight. Our plan meets all the requirements of this new modified policy, so we're comfortable with that policy 2425 as recommended by Strauss Esme. And then policy 5512, which is harassment, intimidation, and bullying. We did have some discussion about how our policy and our existing program around harassment, intimidation, and bullying already meets some of the new elements that are in this modified policy, including the use of positive behavior interventions. You know, we talked about the fact that we do already employ 2 programs, Nurtured Heart and Restorative Practices, both of which are used to prevent and apply consequences to HIV. So the policy committee is supportive of the language modifications that are in the first reading for policy 5512. And that's pretty much the, we have the board goal of the continuing and plowing our way through the policy audit, particularly the non-mandatory policies. So the plan we put in place is that we're going to be partnering with the administration and starting with the oldest non-modified policies. So the policies that have been in place and not touched for the longest, and review those policies and start working our way forward in time to make sure that those policies are still consistent with the way that the district operates today. And so some of those policies haven't been modified since 2001, which is when the policy manual became electronic. So we're starting with those ones first. So that's the plan. Any questions? Okay.
All right. Were there any outside meetings as far as the NJSBA, the Hunterdon County School Boards Association, or the Hunterdon County Educational Services, or the vocational school? All right.
Hunterdon County will start back up next month.
Perfect.
It's fun. And then the delegate is in November. So.
Okay. Well, then I will talk to you next month.
Yeah,
There we go.
2 months.
2 months. All right, moving on. At this point in time, this is the opportunity for public comment. During this portion of the meeting, the public is invited to address the school board with questions or comments. The public is requested to sign the register provided for this purpose and to state their name, municipality of residence, group affiliation if applicable, and to direct their comments to the school board president While all comments will be considered and a response will be forthcoming if and when appropriate, school board members will not respond to the speakers at the time of their appearance. The public comment period will be a maximum of 30 minutes in length unless there are unusual circumstances. Those appearing will be allotted 3 minutes to speak, and no one will be permitted to speak twice until those that have not yet had an opportunity to speak have had a turn. Is there anyone here who would like to speak? Okay.
Hi, I'm JP LaBelle from Union Township, and I'm sorry to get a chance to give Glenn a personal call as our rep. I wanted to just make a comment about some things that were discussed at last meeting that I think were not clear enough for people asking questions. Some of the board were asking about the AP exams and credits given to colleges, and that they were talking about the accelerated program with Seton Hall or signing up with Raritan Valley Community College and so on. I've had 4 children now graduate through North. They've all taken AP courses in both their junior and senior years, and as long as they've got a 4 or a 5, most schools, a passing grade is a 3, a 5 is a perfect on an AP exam. And all 4 of them went to Rutgers. All 4 of them went in with 18 credits without having to sign up to Seton Hall or to sign up to RVCC. Because I believe the misunderstanding there is you technically have to apply to Seton Hall, be accepted. You get the credits to Seton Hall. Seton Hall then, which you've paid an application fee, you're now paying for a transcript, and then Seton Hall transfers those credits to whatever college you're going to. We don't have to go through all that. We don't have to do that with RVCC, and I would seriously recommend to any parent that can get their kid to take either AP Lang and AP Lit in junior and senior years, that will get them out of freshman expository writing, so which prevents a 10-page paper every week. I also would like to praise our media center and our librarian, Martha Hickson, the teachers specifically, Ms. Carr and Ms. Fedorko, because they have prepared these kids to write college-level papers. Like they said, they worked on the essays for their Common Apps and so on, and they prepared them to be able to reference a paper, do footnotes, bibliographies, and so on. So I think that was a little confusing where they made it sound like you had to go through the Seton Hall program or through the RVCC program. You do not. Most of the colleges will take a 4 or a 5 and give you full credit. Thank you.
Did you have an opportunity to sign in?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
Oh, great, thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak during public comment? Then moving forward, I'd like to call for a motion and a second to approve agenda items 10.1 to 13.14.
Motion. Second.
All right, Roger. Or does anyone have any questions about those agenda items before we move forward with a vote?
I have one question.
Okay.
On 12.1, the field trips, is Voorhees doing the same ones? It's not on there, they usually do the cheerleading and the others, and they're not listed on there, so it just has North.
Assume that's.
Cheerleading will be next month. They had to make an edit, it'll be on next month.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I saw it on there.
Yeah, then they edited it, they're gonna edit it because of, plain light costs.
Okay,
Yeah,
I just
so
want to
it'll
make
be on
sure that they always go the same time. It wasn't on
Yep,
the-
cheerleading will be on the next agenda.
Okay. That's all I have, thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions or opposed? Motion carries. At this point, I'd like to ask the board if there's any old or new business you'd like to discuss. Kim?
You all are wishing I didn't come. Is it possible, I know I mentioned, I keep asking about the organizational chart to be updated. It's just awkward when you call in and ask for a secretary and we just have new changes, so we know who we're addressing. It doesn't like on the template, like who goes to who. It's just to be respectful. I don't, when I'm calling in, I don't know if I'm asking for Ms. Grube, I don't know. It would be nice for the board to know who we're speaking with, and
It was completed, I'll find out where
Okay.
it was put in the folder.
that's great, thanks.
Anyone else? Seeing none, I'd like to call for a motion and a second to adopt the resolution 092022-2 for executive session to discuss matters falling under category 8 as reflected in the attached resolution. The board expects to be in executive session for approximately an hour and will return to public session where action will be taken.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nays? I call for a motion and a second to reconvene public session. So moved. Tara, Deb, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? We're waiting for Roger to oppose. Vote motion carries. Is there any new business anyone would like to discuss at this point? Okay. Seeing none, can I have a motion and a second to approve agenda items 18.1 and 18.2, including the hand carries if provided?
Second.
And Katie, can we have a roll call vote?
Discussion.
Oh, is there any discussion? I apologize. Okay, seeing none.
Ms. Benoni?
Yes.
Mr. Chapman?
Yes.
Ms. Chrysalova? Yes. Mr. Barbenish?
Yes.
Ms. Hibbs?
Yes, but I need to abstain on 7.2.
Ms. Hoffman? Mr. Kirschberger?
Yes.
Ms. Salino?
Yes.
Mr. Spanton?
Yes.
Mr. Street?
Yes, except for the executive minutes.
Oh, yes, sorry. I apologize. I have to abstain from the executive minutes.
Got it.
Thank you, Roger.
Welcome.
And Ms. Vieta?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Can I have a motion and a second to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roger? Rob, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Unless Roger wants to oppose.
Nope, not that
All
one.
right, we're good.